Hey guys, and welcome to this first practical video in this video series. In today's video we will be taking a look at Android Studio and its features. So if you're not new to Android Studio, feel free to skip this video. But if you are new to Android Studio and you want to learn more, this video is for you. If it's your first time opening Android Studio, this is the window you'll be greeted with. And obviously those projects will be empty. So the first thing we will have to do is click on a new project. And what I normally choose is just an empty activity, because it gives me a nice point to start from. Then in this window, we have a few things that we can do. We can name our application, do whatever you want. Then our package name, what is important to know here is that once you've uploaded your application to the Play Store, this is not something you can change. So choose something wise here. And then finally, we have our SDK that we can choose here. A lower API allows us to run on more phones with our application. However, a higher API gives us more access to newer features. So this is always a bit of a balance point. So once we've done our project setup, we'll be greeted with our main window. And in this window we have a few sections that are important to know. First of all, the middle section is basically where you'll edit your code. Then on the top right, we have everything we need to run our application. So when we press this run button, the application will run on whatever device we have selected. And if we click the spider, we're allowed to debug our app, which is basically running, and we can add breakpoints in our code. Finally, we have multiple devices that we can run our project on. And that will be shown in this little window here. If it's your first time, you've probably not set up any emulators yet. So you can do that via the device manager. Otherwise, you can also connect your phone to your computer, which will make it show up in this same window as well. In this bottom bar, we have tabs such as problems and to-do that will display problems and to-dos that we've added in our code. Android Studio will also highlight problems that it will find itself. We have terminal, build and logcat that will all display information during running of the app or during building of the app about things that might go wrong or things you might have to change. And then version control will show your Git status, for example, if you connected the project to Git. And then finally, here on the left, we have our file tree. And this file tree will show every document we have in our Android Studio project. And there are a few important documents that I want to highlight here. First of all, we have our Gradle scripts. Gradle is basically what Android Studio uses to build our app. And the only important file in Gradle that you need to know about is the build.gradle module file. Because this is where you can add dependencies in your application. So for example, if you were writing some code and you need a package, in Android Studio this is where you will add it. So apart from our Gradle script, we also have a manifest that's important. And the Android manifest basically defines all the components of our application. And apart from the components, we also define permissions here. And permissions could be both another app being allowed to use something of our app, but it could also be an activity of our app that needs a permission to do something. For example, an activity being allowed to use the internet. Now that we've taken a look at our Android manifest and our Gradle script, let's take a look at the rest of the file tree. So as you see, there is a folder here called res, and res stands for resources. This folder will hold all of our XML files, and our XML files define what our app looks like. Our drawable folder holds any shapes, icons or images we might want to use in our application. Our layout folder holds any layout file that we define. And layouts define positioning of certain elements in our application. So for example, where do I position my button? Or where do I position my image view? Our mipmap folder defines our startup icons of the application. So this is what you will see when you have the app in your home screen, for example. Then finally we have our values folder that is of importance today. This value folder holds a few XMLs that we might want to use. The first being colors.xml. This XML file will hold every color that we define in our application. And this way we can reference the colors by name. Secondly, we have strings.xml. Here we can define certain strings. So for example, the my application string, which we can reference with its name, app name. This strings.xml also helps us for easy translation in the application, because we could make two of these files using the same names but a different translation of the words. Finally, we have our themes folder. And themes, just as colors, they help us with consistency within the app. So this themes file allows us for easy switching between certain themes. So for example, when we define a button and we say it's purple and the user changes to dark mode, the button won't change color. But if we instead say we want the button to be a primary color, and the primary color in the day theme is defined as purple, but in the night theme it's defined as black, for example, it will change as the user switches themes. Finally, we have our Java code. And our Java code basically handles every action that we want to handle. So when we press a button, something needs to happen. And that something we define in this Java code. That was the quick run through Android Studio. I hope you know a bit more about the features of Android Studio now. But if it's still unclear, the next video we will be making a Hello World application. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. See you in the next video.